Gothamites. If you're new here, hi. I'm London, aka History of the Batman. So this past Friday was my birthday and I had such a wonderful day with my family. And if you wished me happy birthday on Twitter or on Instagram, I just want to say thank you so much for wishing me a very bat-tastic birthday. It meant so much. So thank you guys, you're all so sweet. One of my presents was actually something I have been dying to get for almost a year now. And that is glare. No, let's see. This is the DC Collectibles black and white first appearance Batman statue. I thought because I received this for my birthday and the fact that next month is actually Batman's 80th anniversary when he debuted in Detective Comics 27 and looked just like this, I thought it would be cool to unbox. I know it's been out for about 8 months now and other people have unboxed it and reviewed it and things like that, but it's new to me. So I thought I would share it with you guys. We're going to do a couple things in this video. One, we are going to discuss the packaging and unbox it and see what is it all about and everything like that. I love it. I'm already excited. And I will discuss a brief history of the creation of the Batman in 1939, which of course includes the crazy saga of both Bob Kane and Bill Finger. But before we dive into some history, why don't you subscribe to this channel and become a part of this wonderful Gothamite community? First off, if you're wondering what's Batman black and white, let me briefly tell you. First off, I'm sure that you've seen them in some capacity everywhere, especially if you have watched my videos. I literally have them in the background all the time because they are, perhaps besides Funkos, my favorite pieces of collectibles to have. In 1996, DC Comics published the book Batman Black and White, which was a collection of stories in each issue that had different creators, from writers and artists that have all in the past worked on Batman in some capacity. And each story had a different theme and tone and aesthetic, but all of it was in awesome black and white. This series became extremely popular. Some of my favorite stories are Bruce Timm's Two of a Kind, Paul Dini and Alex Ross's Case Study, Neil Gaiman and Simon Beasley's A Black and White World, and tons of other stories that I love to reread over and over again. If we jump to 2005, DC Collectibles began to make these Batman black and white statues based off the publication. And then those became popular, and then it just became Batman black and white statues celebrating Batman artists, from Jim Lee to Greg Capullo to Dustin Nguyen to Jacques to pretty much any and everyone you can think of. We're almost 100 statues deep and each has a different artist and creator attached to it. And it's an awesome way to collect Batman's visual evolution in statues that are actually quite affordable. And you know, I am all for affordable. But the Batman black and white statues are always beautifully crafted. They're amazingly sculpted and they're connected to some of the best and well-known artists within Batman's 80-year mythos. The statues are just history in itself. Now that you know a little bit about Batman black and white, sorry I didn't do a full thing, let's look at this Batman black and white statue. First of all, like I always say, I'm sorry about glare. I'm sorry. But let's look at the front. It says in the corner, Batman black and white, Batman with Bob Kane in the corner, which we'll have a full discussion about the Bob Kane part after the unboxing, because I want to talk a little bit about that. And if you look on the back, this is the back, it shows the Bob Kane statue, and it also shows other different statues such as Jim Lee that you can get. And on the back it says Batman Black and White by Bob Kane. From the vision of the legendary artist Bob Kane comes this 6.75-inch Batman black and white action figure based on Kane's art from the first appearance of Batman and Detective Comics number 27. The Batman black and white action figure line brings to life interpretations of the world's greatest detective and select Gotham City characters in glorious monochrome from the comics industry's brightest stars. Just basically what I just told you guys. The box said it for me. And then of course it has it in French, which is great. That's the only other language I speak, so I can read that. But anyway, so for instance, why I am really excited to check out this statue, I have about maybe 6 or 7 Batman black and white statues that I usually have on display. I, of course, would love to keep collecting more. Hopefully I will in the future. But let's look at this one, for instance. This is my Darwin Cook based Batman black and white statue. See, it has the black and white base. But you see, you can't move him. There's no articulation. It's literally just a statue. You just put it up and there it is. Which is great. I love it. And I love Darwin Cook and Miss Darwin Cook. And literally the other black and white statues that I have do not have any articulation. You can't move the arms, you can't move the legs. However, this is a Batman black and white action figure, and I'll take it out of the box, but as you can see, even on the back of the box, you can see that his knees can bend. He can move. He can move his arms and his legs. So for me, this is the first time I've had a Batman black and white statue that had any type of articulation. So I'm excited to do some poses. Let's just open it up and see what it looks like on the inside. While I'm struggling trying to get this open, if you guys would like, you can let me know in the comments below what your favorite Batman black and white story is, or statue, or if you own any Batman black and white statues or comics. Curious to know. I think it's a fantastic line, so curious what you guys have. I'm trying to smile because I'm literally struggling opening up this top, and it's just, oh my god, more tape? Are you serious? Anyway, promo. So if you're like, ooh, I like this statue, or ooh, I want to see more DC Collectibles, on the inner flap, it not only has the website, but if you use hashtag DC Collectibles, that is their hashtag on social media. So hit that up if you do have stuff from DC Collectibles. Alrighty, let's finally open it. Nope. I was trying to be all cool and ooh. Okay, now. So sad. Okay. Ooh. Oh my god. The cape. You can move the cape. It's like a fine rubber. Oh my god. Okay. So much to discuss here. So when you open up the package, it looks like this. And it is literally what he looked like, besides the color, in Detective Comics 27. You can see the very short-eared cowl. You can see the very thin-lined bat emblem on his chest. You can see the very wide, almost normal-sized belt, but the only type of pockets it has are smoke pellets, because those were some of the first gadgets that Batman had within his utility belt. And the boots and the gloves, these gloves, do you see it? Probably not. Okay, well, I'm going to take him out. Oh, and then if you just take this out, it looks like this. And then the back says Batman black and white. Cute. Okay, I don't want to mess up this box. So let's take, oh. So I was going to pull him out, and literally his head like jerked back, and I thought I was going to like mess up his head. And I don't want to do that. So you got to take the little wire out of here. I hate these things. Don't you hate that? I hate it. Like when I was little, I had every Barbie known to man. Like Mattel should have been sponsoring me at the age of 7. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I hated taking off these like plastic things to hold in the figure in the box. I still do. It is just, I understand the function, you know. I just don't like it. There's a protective like plastic over his utility belt, and this horrible, you know, wiring I'm just not a fan of. Why is this a struggle? They just don't want me to, it's fine. So he came out like this. He's kind of bent. Okay, so let's straighten him out. Oh my god, I love this. Are you serious right now? Oh my God. Okay, let me try to... This is what he looks like. He's 6.75 inches. So that's a pretty good height. That's a normal height for a black and white. His cape. Look at the back. It's like wings, which we'll talk more about the design of Batman and how we got to the cape versus wings and all that later. But I know it's because if you want to straighten out his arms and kind of do a like, let's see. Oh my God, I can move his arms. That is a trip to me. And be like a, come at me, bro. His cape spreads out as well. I love this. I love the cowl. Look at the camera. Excuse you. I love the cowl. Oh my gosh. I love the gloves. This is amazing. And I love how the cape is split down the middle and it's like almost enveloping him. Because if you look at the first panels that show Bruce Wayne as Batman, his cape is almost overbearing in a sense around his shoulders and around his arms. So the fact that they implemented this into this design for the statue, it's so cool. Golden Age Batman is literally my favorite Batman. Between Golden Age Batman and like Carmine Infantino and Murphy Anderson's 1960s Batman, like Dick Sprang and Jerry Robinson and Charles Paris, those Batman Golden Age artists, they're my favorite. I love them so much. So this is outstanding. And it's perfect because this guy's turning 80 years old this year. It's insane. And this is what he looked like in his first debut. I love it. Let's take out the actual stand and see how that goes. It's gonna be a struggle because when is it not? Okay, so, oh, I see. So this is the stand. Very light, actually. This is almost plastic. It's very, very light in comparison to the other stands because this is lightweight in comparison to the other regular Batman black and white statues that aren't action figures. Oh, that makes sense. There's more weight. It's, you know, it's more agile. This is light. On the back it says DC Collectibles. If you can read that, I think you can. And there is one place where you could put his foot. So let's, and it's on this foot. See the little hole right there. Boom, boom, boom. And let's put him on there. Look at him go on this emblem. And what's really cool is that since there's just one foot that's grounded on the stand, you can still kind of move him around. You can have like his foot kind of back if you want him to look like he's in like a running motion. Oh my God. See, if that wasn't an action figure, I'd be upset right now. I'm just going to have him stand. But if you're adventurous and not a clumsy fool like I always been my entire life, you can move him around and things of that nature. But the cape is killing me that you can move it. I'm like dead. I'm obsessed with capes and cowls. Oh my God, I love this guy. Even though I dropped him. I'm so sorry, dude. Okay, so that is the first appearance Batman black and white action figure. There he is in that corner right there. While we talk about some history a little bit. As it has been mentioned several times in this video, this Batman is based off of the Batman's debut in Detective Comics issue 27, which was released on March 30th in 1939. And I wanted to go back to the fact that it says designed by Bob Kane because I distinctly remember that when this statue was announced, and you can pre-order it, and when it came out, there was a little bit of backlash because it just had Bob Kane's name on it and not Bill Finger as well or by himself, different things like that. People were upset that Bill Finger was not represented within the first appearance Batman. Let me explain, if you don't know, why people were upset. So in 1938, a year before the Batman was born, comic strip artist Bob Kane was approached by National Allied Publications, or DC Comics as you know it today, editor Vince Sullivan to create a hero just as popular as their brand new superhero called Superman. Now, when Bob Kane heard this, he just saw dollar signs because he knew that the creators of the Man of Steel were making mad cash in 1938, and he wanted in on that. From claimed different inspirations, including one of Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine and things of that nature, Kane designed a figure and called him the Batman, which looked like this. Just study that while I talk to you. After seeing this design, and obviously Kane was inspired by Superman's color scheme in his costume, Ghost writer Bill Finger was put on the project to help Bob Kane really mold this new character that was supposed to be just as popular as Superman. Bill Finger did so many changes to the original design that Bob Kane had for the Batman. He changed that red and yellow color scheme to a more blue and gray color scheme. He changed that domino mask that was on Bob Kane's original design to a cowl. He changed the literal bat wings that Bob Kane put on the Batman. I get it, but still, it just didn't flow. But he changed the bat wings to an actual cape. But most importantly of all, Bill Finger was the one that added the detective aspect to Batman, because Bob Kane just wanted a pulp fiction vigilante hero. Bill Finger thought it would be great if he was a detective like Sherlock Holmes, and he added things from the tall boots to even gloves. So when you put Bob Kane's vigilante hero and Bill Finger's redesign of Bob Kane's entire design and detective skills, when they come together, they create the persona that we know and love today. And the Batman became the dark image that was kind of juxtaposed to Superman's bright hero. Batman was born and hit the newsstands on March 30th, 1939, and we have not looked back since. Now, if you didn't know, Bill Finger didn't just redesign Batman's look, but he added so much to the Dark Knight's mythology. He created the Batmobile, he created the Batcave, he named Batman's hometown Gotham City, and he even co-created popular Batman characters from Dick Grayson's Robin to the Joker to the Penguin to the Riddler, and so many other DC Comics based characters. Bill Finger's contributions to Batman's evolution are undeniable now. But back then, in 1938/1939, when Bob Kane signed an exclusive contract with National Allied Publications that gave him the sole rights to anything Batman, to writing Batman, to drawing Batman, everything Batman, he was the only creator. And through that contract, Bill Finger was not known as contributing anything to Batman. Not Bill Finger, not Gardner Fox, not Dick Sprang, not Edmund Hamilton, just go on and on. Like, not anybody. That only started to change well into the 1960s when reprints began to happen for Batman comics, and then the actual artists and writers like Dick Sprang and like Gardner Fox were put into the books to show that no, Bob Kane wasn't the only one that wrote and drew Batman and his characters. But it took 75 years for Bill Finger to receive credit for co-creating Batman. And unfortunately, Bill Finger passed away at the age of 59 in 1974 and was not recognized as contributing to the creation of Batman, even though at that point in 1974, there were already 2 black and white serial series in the 1940s, a live action TV show and film in the 1960s, and several animated TV shows that featured Batman. I mean, Batman was even on radio at that point. He was everywhere. And he became such a phenomenon, and Bill Finger just wasn't recognized at all for all of these amazing accomplishments. And it wasn't until late 2015 that DC Entertainment decided to give credit to Bill Finger's Batman creations and other DC Comics characters and mythology within the universe that he contributed to. and you first saw this in the credits of TV shows such as Gotham and in the 2016 film Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, if you open up any Batman comic or watch any episode or animated film or anything that Batman is in, it will say Bob Kane with Bill Finger. It's very heartbreaking considering the Batman black and white statue that I just unboxed and the way that we see Batman and know Batman, and how even though artists give their own interpretations, whether it's regular continuity or Elseworlds or what have you, it's all based on the original design that Bill Finger basically did. Of course, a lot of people have strong feelings about Bill Finger being recognized and Bob Kane's involvement within all of this. Since we're talking about this, if you haven't seen it yet, but Mark T. Nobleman's documentary, Batman and Bill, discusses this history that I'm telling you now in much more detail, tells it from Bill Finger's family, from his side, and from creators that worked alongside Bill Finger and Bob Kane, such as Jerry Robinson. After that documentary came out, people were like, wow, Bob Kane is just trash. Like, Bob Kane did Bill Finger dirty. And what's funny is that Bob Kane, in several interviews that he started doing after Batman just blew up on the scene from the 60s to the 70s to especially the 1980s when Batman 89 came out with Michael Keaton, he started to do several interviews discussing how he created Batman and all of these things. And even within his interviews, he would contradict him saying that Bill Finger helped this character, but then in another paragraph right on the page would say he had no part in creating a certain character. It was just a lot of shadiness going on Bob Kane's end, and I think a lot of people who are starting to learn that now see that Bill Finger definitely should have been recognized when he was alive and not 50 years later when he passed away. This brings me all back to the fact that at the top of this it says Batman Black and White, Batman by Bob Kane. A lot of people said that it should have Bill Finger on the box as well. And even if not prominent on the front, it should at least be in the description on the back. But I know through the Batman black and white statues, when they say it is designed by, it's literally the artist that designed the character, which technically is Bob Kane. We can argue about this, and I actually would agree with you, but Bill Finger designed this. All of these changes, the way the cowl is, the gloves, the boots, the cape, all of it, the way that he looks, his detective side, just him, the way that he was presented in Detective Comics 27, that was so heavily Bill Finger. So I would say that sure, it would make sense to have Bill Finger on the packaging, but usually you just have the sole penciler of the comic that the Batman is based off of. Whether or not Bill Finger's name is on it, you know that this Batman black and white first appearance representation is all Bill Finger, and we all should be extremely grateful for Bill Finger, because if it was still this Batman that Bob Kane had, he probably would have went into obscurity. His look and his history and his mythos and all of that makes him him is why 80 years later he's still one of the most popular characters in all of fiction. Of course, we thank Bob Kane because he created the name Batman. I'm not going to take that away from him. Do I think he is trash? Do I think that he is a flaming hot garbage heap? Probably. But we do thank Bill Finger as well because he designed this guy, and who doesn't love this guy? Thank you guys so much for watching this unboxing of DC Collectibles Batman First Appearance black and white action figure designed by Bob Kane. And thank you for listening to a brief history of the Bob Kane and Bill Finger saga, because it is quite fascinating. I literally am obsessed with this history and seeing how it unfolded in all of the nooks and crannies. Like I said, I definitely recommend the Batman and Bill documentary if you really want to learn more. If you haven't seen it, it is an extraordinary piece of work. I am hoping that sometime this year I'm able to even talk with Mark Nobleman about the documentary, maybe even screen it at a con. I'm working on it, I promise. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a bat thumbs up. As always, all of my social media is linked in the description below, so why don't you give it a follow and become a Gothamite? The next video, I will announce the Mondo winner of the Batman vinyl. Next video. So look out for my next video, which should be sometime next week. Promise. Check out my videos for DC Comics DC Fans channel. My review for Zoe Quinn and Robbie Rodriguez Goddess Mode issue 3 is up on the DC Fans channel now, so I will link it in the description below. Go check it out. It's very fun, and I will be reviewing all of Goddess Mode. So if you enjoy the book, if you like the DC Vertigo books, check out the DC Fans channel because myself and other DC Verified fans are talking about the different new and really awesome books from DC Vertigo. So go check that out. And of course, please subscribe to this channel so you can become a part of this Batman community. It would mean so much to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will have more History of Batman soon right here on YouTube. Remember, Gothamites, it's all about peace, love, and Batman. Bye.